Good afternoon. This is All India Radio. I'm Anuja Kumar, and with me is Vaibhav Srivastav with the Midday News. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says India is not a nation to lose hope during tough times. Assures that country will overcome the challenge of corona pandemic with strength and dedication. Prime Minister releases 8th installment of Pradhan Mantri Kisan Samman Nidhi to over 9 crore 50 lakh farmers. COVID-19 recovery rate improves to 83.50%, over 3,43,000 new cases reported. Nearly 18 crore COVID vaccine doses administered in the country so far. First dose of Sputnik V vaccine administered in Hyderabad. Vaccine priced at 995 rupees. Chhattisgarh records steady decline in corona cases. Central government files review petition in Supreme Court challenging the interpretation of 102nd Constitutional Amendment regarding Maratha reservation judgment. Flight with nearly 150 stranded Australians in India to reach Australia tomorrow. In view of Cyclone Tauktae warning, National Disaster Response Force deploys 24 teams in Kerala, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Gujarat and Maharashtra. Central Board of Secondary Education says no decision taken regarding cancellation of Class 12 examinations. And Eid-ul-Fitr being celebrated across the country in a subdued manner amidst coronavirus pandemic. President, Vice President and Prime Minister greet people on the occasion. As the number of COVID cases are on the rise, we appeal to our listeners not to lower the guard, follow all the precautions, and all those above 44 years who have taken the first dose of COVID-19 vaccine to get vaccinated with second dose at the scheduled time. Stay safe and protected by following these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has assured that the country will overcome the challenge of the corona pandemic with its strength and dedication. He asserted that India is not a nation that will lose hope in tough times. He was speaking at a virtual event after releasing the 8th installment of financial benefit under Pradhan Mantri Kisan Samman Nidhi PM Kisan scheme to over 9 crore 50 lakh farmers in the country. Mr. Modi said that farmers have shown their grit of serving the nation even during the testing times of COVID-19.
गांव का किसान का कोरोना के विरुद्ध भारत की लड़ाई में बहुत बड़ा योगदान रहा है। ये आपके ही श्रम का परिणाम है कि आज इस कोरोना काल में भारत दुनिया की सबसे बड़ी मुफ्त राशन की योजना चला रहा है।
Highlighting the record procurement due to the innovation in the farming techniques, Prime Minister said that farmers from Punjab and Haryana have started getting benefit of the direct transfers for the first time.
मुझे संतोष है कि पंजाब और हरियाणा के लाखों किसान पहली बार डायरेक्ट ट्रांसफर की इस सुविधा से जुड़े हैं। अभी तक पंजाब के किसानों के बैंक खाते में करीब 18,000 करोड़ रुपए और हरियाणा के किसानों के बैंक खाते में 9,000 करोड़ रुपए सीधे उनके बैंक अकाउंट में जमा हो चुके हैं। अपना पूरा पैसा अपने बैंक खाते में पाने का संतोष क्या होता है, ये पंजाब और हरियाणा के किसान भी अनुभव भी कर रहे हैं और मुखर होकर बोल भी रहे हैं।
Mr. Modi said that the PM Kisan scheme has proven to be very beneficial for the marginal farmers in the country. Talking about the COVID pandemic, the Prime Minister said that a large number of cases are also reported from the rural areas as well. He urged the village panchayats to ensure proper awareness and sanitation in their respective areas.
कोरोना से बचाव के लिए आपको खुद पर, अपने परिवार पर, सामाजिक स्तर पर जो भी जरूरी कदम है, आवश्यकताएं हैं, उसे हमें उठाने ही है। मास्क पहनना बहुत जरूरी है, वो भी ऐसा पहनना है कि नाक और मुंह पर पूरी तरह से ढका रहे। दूसरी बात, आपको किसी भी प्रकार के खांसी, सर्दी, जुकाम, बुखार, उल्टी, दस्त जैसे लक्षणों को सामान्य मानकर नहीं चलना है। पहले तो खुद को यथासंभव दूसरों से अलग करना है, फिर जल्द से जल्द कोरोना टेस्ट करना है और जब तक रिपोर्ट न आए तब तक डॉक्टरों से जो दवाई बताई है वो जरूर लेते रहना है।
On the occasion, Mr. Modi called upon the state governments to ensure strict laws to counter black marketing of medicines and medical supplies. The Prime Minister said that the armed forces are also working with full strength to ensure oxygen supply and ensure COVID-related care in these tough times. Urging people to wear masks properly, Mr. Modi asked everyone to consult a doctor when they witness any COVID-related symptom. Assuring everyone about the government's resolve towards fighting COVID-19 with all might, the Prime Minister said that he shares the feelings of countrymen at every loss of life reported in the country. Mr. Modi requested everyone to register themselves for the vaccination and urged to strictly adhere to the COVID-appropriate behavior at all times. The Prime Minister also expressed happiness over the active adoption of new techniques of organic farming by the farmers in the country. On the occasion, Prime Minister also interacted with beneficiary farmers of the scheme from various parts of the country.
अरविंद जी, किसान सम्मान निधि का देश के छोटे किसानों को बहुत लाभ हो रहा है और मुझे बताया गया है कि आपके सामने भी कम जमीन की बहुत बड़ी समस्या थी। आपने जैविक खेती की तरफ ही क्यों मुड़े और इससे जीवन में क्या अंतर आया?
ग्रेजुएशन करने के बाद हमने अपनी खेती में कुछ नया करने के लिए सोचा था। उसी समय मुख्यमंत्री जी के द्वारा गंगा यात्रा चलाई जा रही थी, जिसमें हमने भाग लिया और आप भी अटल घाट पर आए हुए थे। तब के बाद कृषि विश्वविद्यालय कानपुर में हमने जैविक खेती का प्रशिक्षण चल रहा था, उसमें हमने भाग लिया और वहां से हमने प्रशिक्षण भी लिया सर। और उसके बाद हमने कृषि विभाग के अधिकारियों से संपर्क किया और उनसे हमने जैविक खेती की पूरी ट्रेनिंग ली।
During the Rabi marketing season 2021-22, Mission One Nation, One MSP, One DBT has been given a firm shape as for the first time, farmers of Punjab and Haryana have started receiving payments directly into their bank accounts against the sale of their wheat crop. Now DBT has been implemented across the country. Up to the 12th of this month, over 56,059 crore rupees have been directly transferred to the farmers' account in the country, out of which 23,402 rupees, which is 91% of the due payment, have been released to the farmers of Punjab. In the last 24 hours, over 3,44,000 people have recovered from COVID-19 infection, taking the recovery rate to 83.50%. In the same time period, over 3,43,000 new COVID-19 cases were reported. There are over 37 lakh active cases in the country. Till now, over 2,79,000 people have recovered from the infection. 4,000 deaths were reported in the last 24 hours, and the death toll due to coronavirus pandemic has reached 2,62,317. The Indian Council of Medical Research said more than 31 crore 13 lakh samples have been tested in the country up till yesterday. It said over 18,75,000 samples were tested yesterday.
India has administered nearly 18 crore COVID vaccine doses, with over 20,27,000 vaccine jabs given in the last 24 hours. The nation has successfully administered nearly 17 crore 93 lakh doses so far. Till now, over 4 crore 5 lakh people in the country have been vaccinated with both the doses, while nearly 13 crore 88 lakh have been administered the first dose. The Health Ministry has informed that with over 4,37,000 vaccine doses administered to people in the age group of 18 to 44 years in the past 24 hours, so far nearly 39,14,000 doses have been administered to beneficiaries in this age group. It added that the vaccination process is being regularly reviewed and monitored at the highest levels to continue fortifying its usage as a tool to protect the most vulnerable population groups in the country from COVID-19. The first dose of Sputnik V vaccine has been administered in Hyderabad today as part of its soft launch and limited pilot. Dr. Reddy's Laboratories Limited in a press release said it received the regulatory clearance from the Central Drugs Laboratory, Kasauli, yesterday. The Reddy's also announced that the imported vaccine costs an MRP of 948 rupees and a 5% GST per dose. The first consignment of Sputnik V vaccines landed on 1st of this month in Hyderabad, and more imports are expected in the coming months. It is expected that the local manufacturing of Sputnik V will commence soon, while 6 Indian manufacturing partners are fulfilling regulatory requirements to ensure smooth and timely supply.
The national capital has witnessed a silver lining of recovery after more than 3 weeks of strict lockdown. Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal today informed that in the last 24 hours, the positivity rate in the National Capital Territory has dipped to 12%. He said the National Capital also recorded substantial decrease in new COVID cases in the past few days. Mr. Kejriwal informed that in the last 24 hours, nearly 8,500 fresh COVID cases were reported as compared to around 30,000 daily cases towards April end. The Chief Minister said that the capital city is also witnessing considerable ease in availability of hospital beds. However, he maintained that the demand of ICU beds is still very high. Mr. Kejriwal informed that in the next few days, over 1,000 more ICU beds will be added to the existing capacity in the city. Announcing a major relief, the Chief Minister said that the Delhi government will provide financial assistance to every child who has lost both the parents due to COVID. He also assured of financial aid to the elders who have lost the single bread earners in their family. The centre will supply over 1,91 lakh vaccine doses to the states and UTs free of cost in the next 15 days. This will include 162.5 lakh of Covishield and 29.49 lakh of Covaxin. The delivery schedule for this allocation will be shared in advance. States have been asked to direct the concerned officials to ensure rational and judicious utilization of allocated doses and minimize vaccine wastage. In the previous fortnight, over 1.7 crore vaccine doses have been made available by the centre to states free of cost.
The government has given relaxation in procurement rules for containment of the COVID-19 pandemic. It has exempted the public procurement of supplies required for containment of the pandemic from the applicability of the public procurement preference to Make in India order. The exemption will be applicable till September this year. Chhattisgarh is recording a steady decline in cases of corona infection. Our correspondent reports that the state's health department has also begun preparations to deal with the challenges of a possible third wave of corona infection.
Chhattisgarh Health Minister T.S. Singhdeo, in a meeting with health experts and senior officials, has instructed to make firm preparations to deal with the challenges of the third possible wave of COVID-19. He has asked the heads of state government hospitals to make special arrangements for the treatment of pregnant women and children. Along with this, the minister also discussed post-COVID management. The state government has instructed the experts to provide information about necessary preparations as well as resources for post-COVID management. Meanwhile, in the wake of the COVID crisis, the state government has suspended many construction works, including the new Raj Bhavan, Chief Minister's residence, assembly building in new capital area, Nawa Raipur, with immediate effect. Vikalp Shukla, AIR News, Raipur.
In Bihar, fresh COVID-19 cases continue to decline. 7,752 fresh cases were reported in the state during the last 24 hours and over 11,000 people recovered yesterday. The state also reported 90 COVID fatalities. The state's recovery rate has risen to about 84.15%, while the test positivity rate has declined to 7.93%. So far, 86,78,000 persons have been vaccinated in the state so far. Meanwhile, the state government has extended the lockdown till the 25th of this month. Chief Minister Nitish Kumar said the decision was taken after reviewing the prevailing corona situation. Vaccination centres, banks and essential services will remain functional during the lockdown. In Madhya Pradesh, Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan has said that Prime Minister Narendra Modi has sought a copy of the model of corona control adopted by the state. The model of Madhya Pradesh will be sent to other states. Chief Minister Chauhan has congratulated the entire medical fraternity and frontline workers and has expressed gratitude to the public. COVID positivity rate in the state declined to 12.7%. More from our Bhopal correspondent.
Madhya Pradesh for the consecutive fourth day registered less than 10,000 cases. State reported 8,419 fresh cases and 74 fatalities, while 10,157 patients recovered from infection. The number of active cases in the state stands at 108,116. More than 60,000 tests are being conducted every day. Under the Mukhyamantri COVID Kalyan Yojana, 2,280 patients are being treated free of cost. State government is also taking strong action against black marketing of remdesivir injection. So far, 75 persons have been sent to jail under NSA. Pooja Pivardhan, AIR News, Bhopal.
Arunachal Pradesh has recorded 257 new fresh COVID-19 cases in the last 24 hours. Meanwhile, 180 patients have recovered. A report.
In Arunachal Pradesh, 3 deaths due to COVID-19 have been reported on Thursday, taking the total to 72. Active cases in the state stands at 2,167. Chief Minister Pema Khandu in a tweet has informed that vaccination for the age group of 18 to 44 years in Arunachal Pradesh will start from May 17, the registration for which will start on May 15 in the CoWIN portal. Mr. Khandu also informed that Arunachal will have 500 oxygen beds with 7 oxygen generation plants functioning in the state by the end of this month. Rakesh Dole, AIR News, Itanagar.
The Gujarat government will give assistance of 4,000 rupees per month to the children rendered orphan following the death of parents due to COVID-19. This decision was taken in a state-level core committee meeting chaired by Chief Minister Vijay Rupani. AIR Ahmedabad correspondent reports that children till the age of 18 years will get this benefit. Meanwhile, the Gujarat government has suspended the vaccination drive for the above 45 years age group for next 3 days from today. More from our Ahmedabad correspondent.
Vaccination of above 45 years has been postponed for 3 days following the new guidelines of the Union Health Ministry for rescheduling the gap between the 2 shots of Covishield vaccine. The same will now restart from Monday. Meanwhile, the state government has decided to grant mass promotion to all regular students of class 10th SSC board due to COVID-19 pandemic. Gujarat has recorded 10,742 new cases of COVID-19 infection during the last 24 hours. At the other end, 15,269 patients have recovered and discharged from the various hospitals. Recovery rate has improved further and reached up to 81.85%. Yogesh Pandya, AIR News, Ahmedabad.
Union Minister Nitin Gadkari today inaugurated a drive-in COVID vaccination facility in Nagpur. Run by Nagpur Municipal Corporation at Glokal Mall in Sitabardi area of the city, this drive-in vaccination centre will administer vaccines to the senior citizens coming by car in the parking area of the mall. Scientists of the Defence Research and Development Organization DRDO's Research Wing Institute of Nuclear Medicine and Applied Sciences have recently developed a life-saving drug for COVID patients named 2DG. The drug helps serious patients in recovery and will also stop the spread of the infection further. In turn, it will also decrease the need of oxygen in such patients. In a special interview with All India Radio News, Dr. Anil Kumar Mishra of the Institute of Nuclear Medicine and Applied Sciences said that it is a big achievement for the country and its efficacy is proven.
पहला ऐसा ड्रग होगा जो कि एक लैब से रिपर्पज होकर के आज की तारीख में क्लिनिकल ट्रायल्स पास करके और ड्रग कंट्रोल ऑफ इंडिया से हमें अप्रूवल मिल गई है। तो ये बहुत बड़ी उपलब्धि है जहां बहुत सारे ड्रग्स को ड्रग कंट्रोल ऑफ इंडिया परमिशन नहीं देता है। तो हमारे लिए भारत में बनी हुई ये चीज जो एक रिपर्पज की हुई ड्रग है बहुत बड़ी उपलब्धि है और ये भारत के लिए भी बहुत बड़ी उपलब्धि है।
You are listening to the Midday News on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says India is not a nation to lose hope during tough times. Assures that country will overcome the challenge of the corona pandemic with strength and dedication. Prime Minister releases 8th installment of Pradhan Mantri Kisan Samman Nidhi to over 9 crore 50 lakh farmers. COVID-19 recovery rate improves to 83.50%, over 3,43,000 new cases reported. National capital Delhi witnesses a silver lining of recovery as positivity rate dips to 12%. Records substantial decrease in new COVID cases in the past few days. Nearly 18 crore COVID vaccine doses administered in the country so far. Centre to supply over 1,91 lakh vaccine doses to states and UTs free of cost in the next 15 days. First dose of Sputnik V vaccine administered in Hyderabad, vaccine priced at 995 rupees. The central government files review petition in Supreme Court challenging the interpretation of 102nd constitutional amendment regarding Maratha reservation judgment. In view of the cyclone Tokte warning, National Disaster Response Force deploys 24 teams in Kerala, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Gujarat and Maharashtra. Central Board of Secondary Education says no decision taken regarding cancellation of the Class 12 examinations. Eid ul-Fitr being celebrated across the country in a subdued manner amidst coronavirus pandemic. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो कुछ वादा करते हैं, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे.
Welcome back to the Midday News on All India Radio. The central government has filed a review petition before the Supreme Court challenging the court's interpretation of 102nd Amendment of the Constitution in the Maratha reservation judgment. The judgment was delivered on May the 5th, which struck down the Maharashtra State Reservation for Socially and Educationally Backward Classes, SEBC Act 2018. The Maharashtra government had extended reservation to the Maratha community in public education and employment under this act. A report from a Mumbai correspondent.
2 days ago, Maharashtra government wrote a letter to President of India and Prime Minister requesting reservation to Maratha community. In a letter, Maharashtra Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray has requested 12% reservation in education and 13% reservation in jobs to Maratha community. While reacting to the review petition, State Minister and head of the subcommittee on Maratha reservation issue, Ashok Chavan said, along with this, the central government should also request the Supreme Court to reconsider the 50% reservation limit in the Indira Sahni case. He claimed that during the hearing on Maratha reservation issue, all states have raised the demand to increase reservation quota. Opposition leader Devendra Fadnavis thanked the central government for filing the review petition. He said that the central government has already taken this view in Supreme Court and by filing review petition, it is reiterating it. Jeevan Bhavsar, AIR News, Mumbai.
The first flight for stranded Australians from India will arrive in Australia tomorrow with up to 150 citizens and permanent residents. The flight will be the first after the lifting of 2-week ban on anyone coming from India, including Australian citizens. The ban was imposed to keep out a fast-spreading variant of the novel coronavirus. As per the government sources, a military plane left Australia today carrying aid for India. The plane will return with stranded citizens who must all test negative for COVID-19 before boarding. Upon reaching, they will be sent for 2 weeks of quarantine. There are about 9,000 Australian citizens and permanent residents in India hoping to get home.
In view of the cyclone Tokte warning, National Disaster Response Force NDRF has deployed 24 teams in Kerala, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Gujarat and Maharashtra. DG NDRF SN Pradhan said that 29 teams are on standby. Meanwhile, India Meteorological Department has predicted heavy to very heavy rainfall, very likely at a few places, with extremely heavy falls at isolated places over Lakshadweep, Kerala and Mahe today. The coastal and south interior Karnataka, Tamil Nadu and Puducherry are also expected to witness heavy to very heavy rainfall at isolated places. Responding to certain speculative media reports regarding the Class 12 CBSE examinations, the board has clarified that no such decision regarding cancellation of Class 12 examinations has been taken. CBSE has said that any decision taken in this regard will be officially communicated to the public.
Eid ul-Fitr is being celebrated across the country today in a subdued manner amidst coronavirus pandemic. For the second consecutive year, no congregational prayers were held in Eidgahs and grand mosques. Most of the faithfuls offered prayers in their homes this morning in compliance with COVID norms. Eid-ul-Fitr is celebrated at the culmination of the fasting month of Ramzan. In Kerala and the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, Eid was celebrated yesterday. President Ramnath Kovind, Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu and Prime Minister Narendra Modi have greeted everyone on the occasion. In a tweet, Mr. Naidu said, Eid symbolizes the spirit of compassion, charity and brotherhood in our lives. He hoped that this Eid-ul-Fitr brings peace, health and happiness for all. In a tweet, Mr. Modi said he is praying for everyone's good health and well-being. He hoped that powered by the collective efforts, the country will overcome the global pandemic and work towards furthering human welfare. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has greeted people on Akshaya Tritiya. In a tweet, Mr. Modi hoped that the festival associated with accomplishment of auspicious works gives us the power to fulfill our resolve to conquer the corona epidemic. He also greeted people on Parshuram Jayanti.
The Prime Minister today bowed to Jagadguru Basaveshwara on the occasion of Basva Jayanti. In a tweet, Mr. Modi said Jagadguru Basaveshwara's noble teachings, particularly the emphasis on social empowerment, harmony, brotherhood and compassion, continue to inspire several people. Now let us take a look at the weather forecast for today. The national capital Delhi will have a generally cloudy sky with light rain or drizzle. The temperature will hover between 23 and 37 degrees Celsius. Mumbai will have a partly cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. Minimum temperature was 28 degrees while the maximum is expected to be around 34 degrees Celsius. Chennai will have a generally cloudy sky with light rain. The temperature will hover between 29 and 37 degrees Celsius. Kolkata will have partly cloudy sky with a possibility of moderate rain or thunderstorm. Minimum temperature was 24 degrees Celsius and the maximum will be 35 degrees. Jammu will have generally cloudy skies towards afternoon or evening or night. Minimum temperature was 19 degrees Celsius while the maximum will be around 30 degrees. Srinagar may experience partly cloudy skies with possibility of rain or thunderstorm or dust storm. Temperature will hover between 11 and 21 degrees Celsius. Leh is expected to have a generally cloudy sky. The temperature will hover between 4 and 16 degrees Celsius. Gilgit will have a generally cloudy sky. The temperature will hover between 12 and 31 degrees Celsius. Muzaffarabad will have thunderstorm with rain. Minimum temperature was 17 degrees Celsius and the maximum will be around 28 degrees. Dehradun will have a partly cloudy sky with possibility of rain or thunderstorm or dust storm. Minimum temperature was 18 degrees Celsius. The maximum will be around 31 degrees. Chandigarh will have a generally cloudy sky. The temperature is likely to hover between 18 and 32 degrees Celsius. In Hyderabad, rain or thunder showers would occur towards evening or night. Minimum temperature was 27 degrees Celsius while the maximum will be around 37 degrees. Patna will also have a clear sky. Minimum temperature was 21 degrees Celsius and the maximum will be around 34 degrees. And Guwahati will have a generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. Minimum temperature was 22 degrees Celsius while the maximum will be 34 degrees.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says India is not a nation to lose hope during tough times. Assures that country will overcome the challenge of the corona pandemic with strength and dedication. Prime Minister releases 8th installment of Pradhan Mantri Kisan Samman Nidhi to over 9 crore 50 lakh farmers. COVID-19 recovery rate improves to 83.50%. Over 3,43,000 new cases reported. National capital Delhi witnesses silver lining of recovery as positivity rate dips to 12%. Records substantial decrease in new COVID cases in the past few days. Nearly 18 crore COVID vaccine doses administered in the country so far. Centre to supply over 1 crore 91 lakh vaccine doses to states and UTs free of cost in the next 15 days. First dose of Sputnik V vaccine administered in Hyderabad. Vaccine priced at 995 rupees. Central government files review petition in Supreme Court challenging the interpretation of 102nd Constitutional Amendment regarding Maratha reservation judgment. Flight with nearly 150 stranded Australians in India to reach Australia tomorrow. In view of Cyclone Tauktae warning, National Disaster Response Force deploys 24 teams in Kerala, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Gujarat and Maharashtra. Central Board of Secondary Education says no decision taken regarding cancellation of Class 12th examination. and Eid ul Fitr being celebrated across the country. And with that we end